can. This is a regional war, and we don't have eyes everywhere, and it is not at every given point in time. We can't guarantee that we know the absolute full picture. Nor, thank you very much. Let's go back to the White House. Kimberly, we've spoken to our correspondents across the region. I think we got a good picture of what happened really pretty much in every country that is part of this war, whether directly or indirectly today. That brings me to the next question, and it is one that Donald Trump more or less addressed in his press conference, which is the day after, right? For such time as the military campaign will wind down, whether it's days from now or weeks from now, did you get the sense from the president, based on his statements, that he has an idea what to do next?
The statements actually do just the opposite. They don't suggest the president has a clear vision of what will happen next, because when it comes to the day after, the U.S. president was very clear that he said that most of the people he had in mind for the day after are now dead. He says there was regime change. Someone there, they wanted to see someone there that was good for the people, but the people that have gone in, he says, are now dead. Now, of course, our own Mohammed Val has suggested that may not be accurate reporting, and when things are moving quickly, it's hard to tell. But given the fact that the U.S. president says he had somebody in mind and that they may be dead, indicates that they may have to turn to a new plan. I think it's also important to note, though, that the U.S. president was also talking about how disturbed he is that countries that he says have had nothing to do with this are being hit, including Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Oman. The U.S. president saying that they are somewhat friendly countries, and he's particularly disappointed that residential areas in these countries have been targeted. So the U.S. president not only being vague about what he thinks could happen the day after in Iran, but expressing dismay that some of the U.S. allies are also being caught in this conflict.
Kimberly, one more thing that caught my attention, but I'd like your take on this, and I'd like to know how you heard it, right? How you absorbed this. Donald Trump did seem to reflect on comparisons between what he's done so far in Iran over the last 4 days of this military campaign and what he did in Venezuela only earlier this year when he captured Maduro.
And there really is no comparison. What happened when the U.S. president ordered the operation to capture Maduro was very swift. It was limited in scope and scale, and it had a concrete ending. In other words, what happened was that the Venezuelan leader was captured and brought to the United States. This is not playing out like that at all. And so the U.S. president often tries to project success in the midst of turmoil, and it appears that's what he's trying to do, given the fact that the Operation Venezuela was relatively well received. He talked about how the United